Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Zankichi and I want to give my honest opinion on Ghostwire Tokyo. I'll be honest, despite me being hyped for this game, I had my reservations about it since it was being published by Bethesda. However, since they didn't have a hand at developing it, then it might not be a glitchy mess. Thank the maker it isn't. Instead, the honor of developing this game is Tango Gameworks, a developer team who's more famous for developing the Evil Within games. That's it? These games are not bad. But this developer team is led by Shinji Mikami of Capcom fame, who's famous for his works in the Resident Evil games, Dino Crisis, and Goof Troop. Goof Troop? Oh heck yeah, I'm in! Like I said, Ghostwire Tokyo was one of the few games that got me pumped to play it when it was announced on E3 in 2019. Mainly because I'm a sucker for Japanese folklore, but also because the premise caught my attention. The people in Tokyo were suddenly disappearing. Shady figures begin appearing out of nowhere. A guy in a Hanya mask is in the middle of a blank space while people in the back are being sucked up to the sky like it's the Rapture. Hyper-realistic noodles! And a man fighting these apparitions with a bow and ethereal powers. Oh yeah, I'm game. Come March 25th, 2022, aw, that's a very special day, Ghostwire Tokyo releases under my nose because I don't have a PlayStation 5, nor my PC wasn't working at the time. The story of this game is as follows. A young man named Akito, our main protagonist, gets possessed by the spirit of a man who calls himself KK, who wants to stop the impending doom that befalls Tokyo that was caused by a man in a Hanya mask. However, Akito wants to see his sister Mari, who is in a hospital, and make sure that she's alright. As they arrive there, Hanya Mask Guy is looming over Mari's bed, wanting to take her away, and as they fail to stop him, Akito gets arm stabbed by Hanya Mask Guy through the chest. In his last breath, KK showed himself to Akito and offered to save Mari if he helps KK stop Hanya Mask Guy by using his body as a host to do so. He wakes up in the hospital floor after that exchange, still conscious and with KK still possessing him. Akito asks what they can do to stop what's happening and save Mari, and KK explains that in order for Hanya to complete his plan, he has to do a sort of ritual that involves Mari. All they have to do is stop it and Tokyo, and hopefully Mari will be safe. The story does get more interesting, but I just want to give you a little taste without spoiling you. Yeah, I'll still tell you what I think about it though. The main story got me hooked. The game itself is based on the supernatural and Japanese folklore, which has the potential for good storytelling, and it adds elements of horror with a bit of detective story sprinkled in there. The characters are relatable as well, with Akito being a big brother who is concerned about his sister while actively wanting to help save Tokyo, and KK being a snarky guy whose harsh nature hides a person that wants to protect his home. There's even a part in the story where KK is forcibly separated from Akito, making him lose his ethereal weaving abilities, and then he has to look for KK while surviving on his own with only his wit and his bow. Once Akito finds KK, they grow closer together as partners as their souls synchronize and become stronger. This is pretty cool as it makes these two characters dynamic with opportunities to grow, and that's always a win in my book. The supporting characters also have their own stories with motives and reasons. Side quests are self-contained stories that revolve around urban legends and curses, and even Hanya Mask Guy is a villain whose reasons for doing what he's doing are, well, human. It's stories like this one that make me want to continue on to see how things progress, and with down-to-earth characters along with the presence of the aforementioned themes, this story is one I'm willing to see through to the end. On the gameplay aspect, the main bulk of it comes from the exploration. Despite Ghostwire Tokyo being an action-adventure / role-playing game, it provides players with a map of Tokyo, so there's much to explore in this huge cityscape, both on the ground and on the rooftops. I most definitely enjoy games that include vertical exploration, as it breaks boundaries by letting me scale the very buildings I see. Although most of it is covered in a fog that can hurt Akito and KK at the beginning, more areas can be accessed by cleansing Tori gates, which can clear up the fog for each designated region. Doing so will not only progress the main story, but it will also make side quests available which can be completed at any time. This large map also includes many collectibles to find, but the most prominent ones are the human spirits, which players can absorb inside these paper dolls called katashiro to then deposit them in rigged payphones that can be found almost everywhere. The thing about these spirits is that they're scattered everywhere, so I often find myself searching high and low for these, and then before I know it, I discovered half the map, and then I find more spirits, and then I absorb them in that little paper doll. And then I often ask myself, how does that payphone just register that paper doll and sucks the spirits that I absorbed in them? It's just magic. Magic. Now, the combat in this game is the standard first-person perspective affair, but it is smooth, responsive, and with plenty of variety. Akito uses ethereal weaving through KK, a type of magical power that channels ethereal energy, which they can then use to conjure wind, water, or fire attacks, a protective barrier, and an ethereal wire. Akito also uses other weapons and items like a bow for long-range attacks, paper talismans that have varying effects, prayer beads to increase his powers, and so on. Top that with the different ways that combat can be approached, whether it be frontal assaults or stealth-oriented maneuvers, and players have themselves gameplay that's satisfying and exciting. Lastly, the game uses a level up system where each level grants skill points that can be used to upgrade 3 different skill trees, one for general abilities, one for ethereal weaving, and one for equipment optimization. Skill points can also be awarded by acquiring KK's investigation notes, which can be found lying around Tokyo, or by buying them on certain shops. Aside of skill points, the skill trees also require Magatama to further enhance abilities, an item that can be found by completing side quests, absorbing the power of yokais, or, like KK's notes, by purchasing them at specific shops. With all of this variety, players can approach this game however they feel like it, and when a game provides a good number of well-implemented options to play it, then I can't complain. With all this being said, my honest opinion of Ghostwire Tokyo is that it's definitely worth it. The game is fun all around, the story is good, the characters are relatable, the gameplay is pretty sweet, the game's length is appropriate, it's a great time altogether. If you have a PlayStation 5 or a PC, then I strongly recommend you pick this game up as soon as you can. But if you have an Xbox Series X, then I believe, don't take my word for it, but I believe that next year this game would be released there due to Microsoft's purchase of Bethesda. And with this, I am done. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so along with hitting that notification bell. And also, if you have anything to say about the game or my opinion on it, then the comment section down below is the place to be, but please do keep in mind that it's just an opinion after all. So again, thank you so much for watching. See you next time and have a good day.